Welcome, Ventura County and beyond. We are underway here in the United States Open Cup first round, something that fans of this area of the game in this area have certainly become used to over time. It is the United States Open Cup, the fifth consecutive year in the Open Cup for Fusion. And right away, early on, opening minute, a corner kick sailing in, headed away at the near post as the Ventura County Fusion take on CD Aguiluchos USA. Fusion in the blue kits with orange and white trim. Aguiluchos in the all orange and black, which may seem a bit out of place to a lot of fans that have watched Fusion in the U.S. Open Cup over time. When you consider the fact that Fusion often wear orange, it's more of a training color. But nonetheless, it is strange to see a team on this pitch wearing those orange uniforms. Aguiluchos out of the Bay Area, the NPSL. A trio, if I'm not mistaken, of players from the El Salvador national team with this group. It really is a talented crew that has come together here for the Open Cup, the VC Sportsplex in Ventura, California. Plenty of you watching surely on the East Coast, and let me disappoint you and say it is yet another beautiful day here in Southern California. A little bit chilly, though, I would say. It's in the low 60s at this point here as Fusion and Aguiluchos kick off from the VC Sportsplex. This is actually the first home match of the season for Fusion. The Premier Development League campaign opens up, coming up on this Friday night. Again, my name is Danny Page. Broadcaster for Fusion some years ago. Done a number of U.S. Open Cup games over the years. There have been some famous ones, too, really, at this venue, and we will take you through kickoff to conclusion as Fusion take on the club from Pittsburgh, California, CD Aguiluchos. They should provide a tough challenge today. It's Peter Gregory plays that one back to Kenny Guyer. Evan Kenny Guyer hits that to Harry Noon. Noon and Gregory, both Englishmen up top for Fusion. A slick pass from the wiry Noon, and then it's bounced back to Tony Alfaro. Roster still very much coming together for the Ventura County Fusion, and really that's an understatement as it goes off to Peter Gregory, and now it'll be a throw-in for Aguiluchos. Toss down the line, cleared away. Back to Paul Oliver. Oliver over to Tony Alfaro. When Fusion have had their strongest teams, they certainly have shown so much in attack, but it's not just that. They've really been strong in defense as well, and it's going to be a big job for the center backs this season. Evan Kenny Guyer starting in the center. Tony Alfaro as well, and now it's played back to the goalkeeper, Trey Mitchell. Sheldon Stainhouse started in the PDL opener last week, a 3-0 loss. Fusion in trouble. Played clear through. Could it be 1-0? What an intervention, Alfaro, but he gives it right back around the goalkeeper, and look at that. A tandem of mistakes for the Ventura County Fusion in just the 5th minute, and for Aguiluchos, Jorge Ruiz strikes. It's tough to go behind early, but no less in that fashion as Ventura County hands a goal to the team whose players hail predominantly from El Salvador, and it's 1-0 Aguiluchos. Fusion had controlled things early on, had possessed more of the ball than their opponents, and it's just what Fusion did not want to have happen, hitting on the counter. I should say being hit on the counter. Long ball played for Peter Gregory. And that ball for Gregory is far too far. 6th minute now, and Fusion behind 1-0. Jorge Ruiz with the opening goal. A disastrous start for Ventura County. The forwards supplying some Excellent pressure for this Aguiluchos side. Fusion now really on the back foot. The issue wasn't just the initial misplay at the back, it was the second one that followed. Really burned Ventura County, and now on the season, that's the fourth goal conceded without scoring. And in some ways, Fusion have been the superior team through their, 96 minutes of play this season, if we're looking at it in an official sense. In goal for Aguiluchos, Luis Castro. Let's go through the back line. We joined you just at kickoff. A pleasure to be with you here, representing Ventura County Fusion and Aguiluchos, United States Soccer, and the United States Open Cup really as a whole. We've grown to love this competition. Goalkeeper comes for it, charges into Harry Noon. What a header. Fusion could have a go from distance, and it is cleared away. An authoritative clear for the midfielder for Aguiluchos. Sergio Thompson and Luis Guerin will be the center back pairing. Along the midfield, Leo Morales, Miguel Santiago, Ani Elmi, Francisco Mendoza, Rudis Corrales, and Jorge Ruiz, the starters for Aguiluchos. And interestingly enough, as we have a stoppage of play, you look over at the goalkeeper to the right. Thanks to our cameraman extraordinaire there. He's picked up a bit of a knock. Luis Castro absolutely charged out of his box to pick that ball up and clear it with his head. And it looked like he might have taken a knock on the leg as he went down. A courageous goalkeeping, to say the least. Let's conclude discussing the starters for Ventura County Fusion. Ruben Rodriguez, Kip Colvey, Augustine Cazares, Paul Oliver, Johnny Lopez across the midfield. And it looks like he's back fit, ready to roll. Up front, I think we mentioned Harry Noon, Peter Gregory, and then James Kiffey, who's a Fusion veteran and really brought the team to life in the second half of that match. The loss to OC Padiadores Blues in the Southwest Division. Fusion again, controlling the ball. Noon sifts that forward. But the referee calls play back. Free kick, Ventura County Fusion. Interesting advantage decision there, to say the least. But away we go. Blasted toward Noon, and it's well short. And Aguiluchos will look to counter again. Headed down for Oliver. Oliver, Alfaro now. Johnny Lopez. Fancy footwork to break free. Lopez, little tug from behind, gets by one, now chips it over for Gregory. Peter Gregory, the ultra-talented English winger, works his way in the corner, but what a fine job defensively from the left back to allow that to be just a throw-in, nothing more, nothing less. A dream start for the visitors. 5th minute goal. Jorge Ruiz. My counterpart and longtime soccer journalist Joe Curley to my left, who's tweeting about the game, called it a calamitous start. And I think it is hard to disagree with that one. Played back now to Trey Mitchell. It's really the only time Mitchell's even touched the ball. Hit over the top. Flag is up, and Jorge Ruiz, he's dangerous. Ultra dangerous. Fusion just really playing Route 1 football now. Will it fall for Gregory? Takes a bounce in front of Peter Gregory. Headed out, and that goes for a goal kick. Gregory touched it last for Ventura County Fusion. Just a bit on Peter Gregory, who you saw there. Came up through the Portsmouth FC Academy while the club was in the Barclays Premier League. He played for Portsmouth in the Football League Championship, which is the second division in English football. He also played in what was then called the Carling Cup. We know it now as the Capital One Cup, or quite simply the League Cup. Even made a team sheet for Portsmouth in an FA Cup match. Didn't play. That, my friends, is Peter Gregory. He is the new number 10 for the Ventura County Fusion. Was most recently training with Charlton Athletic, who, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they were just relegated from the championship down to League One. Seeking out Gregory. Here's Lopez. He and Gregory really seem to be on the same page in some ways. Great ball through for Peter. Peter, nifty back heel. Cuts that one back to the right back. Now off to Paul Oliver. Fusion again, doing well to control, but now played just right through, and here comes Ruiz again. Back for Mitchell. Mitchell makes no mistake this time and gets it out. Just over a dozen minutes in here. My name is Danny Page here on the Ventura County Fusion YouTube channel. Player Ruiz was certainly offside there. We'll have all Fusion home games streamed live here via YouTube. It's really just the start of the PDL season. Things just getting up and running for the Ventura County Fusion. It is pretty exciting to see soccer back here in Southern California, really at all levels, and it's great to be hosting a U.S. Open Cup match. Fusion fans wouldn't be too stoked about the scoreboard, and yes, it is Southern California. I did use the term stoked in a broadcast, but no less. They have plenty of time to claw back into this one as we just enter the 14th minute here. Over the top again. Another beautiful opportunity to make it 2, and it's chopped over. Really a poor hit from Francisco Mendoza, but the speed of the members of this Aguiluchos team really wreaking havoc on Fusion. And when you look at basically the three front players for Aguiluchos, we're talking about Jorge Ruiz, the goal scorer. We're talking about Rudis Corrales. We're talking about Francisco Mendoza. These are regular members of the El Salvador national team. Former members of the El Salvador national team, as I double-check my notes there. But nonetheless, former national team players playing for this group. Many would say that a PDL club beating an NPSL club is expected, not an upset. But when you have three national team players here, that's a different story. Sifted through the middle. Here's Harry Noon. Noon chips it for Gregory. Gregory getting help. There's the back heel for Peter. Now punch to the right side. Right back is busted off the ball. They'll give a throw in. Seemed to be a little questionable to this commentator, but it works as we near the quarter hour here. Aguiluchos 1, Fusion 0. Long throw coming. Near side, header by Noon. What a header on from Noon, but there is absolutely no one home. It's unfortunate. And here they go again, just trying to use their advantage over the top with these former national team players. And why not?
The main one's 8. Corrales. 17 goals for El Salvador.
Back through for Mendoza. Fusion look like they'll be able to clear again. Rudis Corrales, who did play a part in that opening goal, 17 goals for El Salvador. I mean, is that even legal? Pretty incredible. 17 goals, over 70 caps for El Salvador. That, my friends, is quite impressive. Throw in coming for CD Aguiluchos USA. We mentioned former El Salvadorian national players for this Aguiluchos side. How about perhaps a future national team player for the Ventura County Fusion who's not here tonight? Javin Torrey, who is a US U20 international, UCLA student, away from the squad tonight to focus on his studies, and rightfully so. This is the Premier Development League, remember. No need to misconstrue what is important at this level, and that is developing talent on the field and really off of it as well. Corner kick coming now, 17th minute. Aguiluchos starting strongest as the sun just starting to set here. Trotting over to take the corner is Rudis Corrales. Staggering 17 goals for country. Near post, corner, great header out. Tony Alfaro, he's going to have to be Mr. Consistent at the back tonight and this season. And now it's a throw-in. Is Aguiluchos with a bit of pressure. Long throw-in coming. Again, right toward the near post. Cleared out. And one more throw. Let's just say it's about 10 yards further back. Fusion looking for a more authoritative clear. They don't get it. Pop back in toward the mixer, and instead just wide off to the left. Throw in now coming for Ventura County. Just to reset here, my name is Danny Page. A pleasure to be with you for this U.S. Open Cup match. Another year in the Open Cup. I believe Reading out of Pennsylvania have been in the Open Cup 6 consecutive years as a PDL side. Fusion have been for 5 straight years, one shy of Reading's record. Long ball over the top, and this is where it gets tricky, isn't it? Just played coolly back to the goalkeeper by Kip Colvey, and then blasted down the pitch. Johnny Lopez to it. Off to Agustin Casares. Trying to weave one around for Ruben Rodriguez. Fusion with the ball in the opposing half. I would say a decent amount of time, but really not a single quality opportunity to show for it. And we're nearing the 20-minute mark here. Feel free to engage us on Twitter at VC Fusion. That is at VC Fusion. My name is Danny Page. I will be with you the entire night for this entertaining U.S. Open Cup tie. We'll also go through some of the other scores in the first round and some of the future matchups. Fusion, of course, with a win, as there's a foul right in the midfield as Oliver tried to push his way forward. One big storyline coming in for Fusion is the possibility that they would, with a win, or not the possibility, the fact that with a win, they would host Sacramento Republic FC, and the Ventura County Fusion very closely connected with Sac Republic, who have made such waves in USL Pro, bringing in 20,000 people to Hughes Stadium for their opening game. The star player, if you will, the marquee player, Rodrigo Lopez, Fusion veteran, part of that championship team in 2009. Beautiful touch play in the area. Fisted away from the goalkeeper. Luis Castro there with one paw. to just push it off. And Harry Noon really combining well there with James Kiffey. Kiffey, as I said, really brought the team to life in that second half. The opening match, a defeat. Corner kick coming in, swinging back off the far post. The goalkeeper gets a paw to it, but I think it touched Kiffey last. It did. Goal kick. Again for Fusion. And really, I think we have some Sac Republic players and staff watching because they want to play Fusion as well. A number of Fusion players on that roster. And it would certainly be an interesting homecoming for Santa Barbara native Rodrigo Lopez, who's a great friend of the franchise and really, I think it's safe to say, one of the franchise's all-time great players. Now as we look at an 8-year history. I know it's a short history, okay, but as the
8 years is getting long.
yeah, as the team nears being a decade old, I think you'd look at Roro's being one of the all-time greats. Of course, Alfonso Mota Galvan, we go back. Dylan Barna, great central defender. Dylan Riley, who's actually part of the team this year. Danny Barrera, of course. Is it time for a Fusion Hall of Fame, perhaps? We can have the opening ceremony next week. 23 minutes into this Open Cup match. 1-0, a fifth-minute goal. It's a brutal blunder for Fusion, but it's so early on. The players have played together so little at this point. It's really hard to hold them very accountable at this stage, at least in my mind's eye. Alfaro to take the set piece. Kiffey, goalkeeper. Kiffey wanted it, that's for certain. Blasted out for Ruiz. Ruiz bearing down on the center back again. And it looked like a little shove in the back from Ruiz on Kenny Guyer. Evan, his first name. Gregory heads that off his opponent. Throw in Fusion. Hit back to Ruben Rodriguez, who provides nice pace at the right back spot. The fulcrum, if you will, Augustin Casares. Now back to Rodriguez. Casares went to St. Mary's, by the way, in Moraga, Northern California. Also attended Moore Park College nearby. Speaking of local products, Michael Roman, a fan favorite, has rejoined Ventura County Fusion, graduate of Louisville. Actually, looked like he was initially going to be with the Missioneros, rivals of the Fusion in the Southwest Division, but clicked his heels together and thought there's really no place like home. Again, trying to find the pace of Gregory. There just isn't enough space for Peter, never mind the pace, at this point. As Fusion trail into the 25th minute here. YouTube.com/VC Fusion. This our first broadcast of the year. We'll have multi-camera shoots actually coming up as we roll out our coverage, our full coverage, on Friday night. Fusion and the San Jose Earthquakes U23 team. What a start. Here's Johnny Lopez, a weaving ball for Colby. Colby's cross all the way over the top and out at that point. But fans encouraged, Fusion fans encouraged to see a little bit more power in the attack, a little bit more direct play. Team still very much feeling itself out, if that makes sense. A couple results from today so far. From the USASA, RWB Adria defeated Detroit City FC. The Western Massachusetts Pioneers beat Massachusetts Premier Soccer. What a battle that must have been in the Northeast. It really is all about local rivalries at this stage, isn't it? To have, I would suppose Aguiluchos is not a local rivalry, but we've seen Fusion in the third round of this competition take on Chivas USA. The rivalry went on for 2-3 years between LA Blues and Fusion in this competition. LA Blues of the USL Pro, now of course OC Blues. Free kick, looks to be well arranged at the edge of the area. Headed clear. Gregory just can't get to that one. Played wide left side. Yes, of course we had the Ventura County Derby, as it's being called by one local journalist. FC Hasenthal taking on Fusion, and that's what this round is all about, really. And that will continue, truth be told, next week, even though Sacramento and Fusion aren't a rivalry in terms of proximity. It is certainly a rivalry. That one knocked forward for Ruiz. He's offside. He's been offside pretty much the entire match in my mind. Yeah, but then again, I'm biased. 27th minute now. Again, my name is Danny Page. Pleasure to be with you here. YouTube.com/VCFusion. Just had a tweet come in, and again, feel free to send us tweets at VCFusion. I've got it right in front of me. I'd be happy to respond. Kip Colby's parents, it would appear, say, watching our son play for the Fusion in New Zealand. How do you like that? Internet's a great place, man. I'll tell you that much.
Either that or Colby's tweeting himself.
Yeah, right? Now, that would be something. Player tweeting from the field. I'm not sure if we're ready for that.
It's happened to me multiple times. Ventura College football team at halftime.
Nearing the half-hour mark here. Fusion bearing down, edge of the area. He's sifted through for Gregory. Gregory trying to get it off his feet, falls to the floor, incidental contact, and a nice opportunity goes begging, although Aguiluchos really closed down well there. And I think they're showing strength in defense to go with the strength in attack, former national team players. Here's Johnny Lopez, and it bounces up into the waiting arms of Luis Castro. Way to have a go. As we go to the 29th now. Here's Gregory. Nice dummy from Peter. Can't get to it. But a throw in. It's the more direct play that I think Fusion fans are pleased to see at this point. Off to the center of the field. Here's Cazares. Cazares, time on the ball, assessing options. Cuts back for Paul Oliver. Johnny Lopez calling for the ball as the midfield seems to have moved around to something of a 4-2-1-3. If that makes sense. You might call it a 4-5-1, except the wingers are playing a lot higher up the pitch. Headed down by Noon, but really just not enough there. Noon showing more strength than we saw in the opening match. I really like what we're seeing from Noon. He's been a bit more direct today, I think. Great comment coming in via Twitter from Creek Bear. That's at DYC Soccer 17. At VC Fusion, did you know that Rudy Corrales of CD Aguiluchos USA scored a goal against U.S. Soccer in a friendly in 2010? And now he helps in the buildup of the opening goal tonight in the Open Cup beyond the half-hour mark It is 1-0. And now it's Johnny Lopez. Fusion getting the better of possession. Aguiluchos surely dangerous on the counter with those 3 front players. Left-footed cross coming in, and Noon just really had no angle on it. But there's the direct play from Kiffy, moving it off to his left boot and sending it in. This is the U.S. Open Cup live, and we'll try to bring you scores as much as we can. I'm following the updates from the U.S. Open Cup on Twitter as well. What a fine job the crew does over there. The New York Red Bulls beat Vermont Voltage 2-1. They play the Riverhounds coming up. It's a great venue they have in Pittsburgh, at least from what I've seen in photos and a video or two. Here's Corrales. And that's off for a throw-in. Really, Aguiluchos haven't had it in the Fusion half for, I think it'd be fair to say, 6 to 8 minutes. Decent amount of time. That's been all Ventura County, frankly. Edge of the area, hit back, and another definitive clearance from the Ventura County Fusion. Played off to Luis Quintin, center back, captain, thrusting forward, and Ruben Rodriguez is there to clear that away. LA Galaxy 2 take on Cal FC next week. That's what I'm seeing as well. Good updates. At U.S. Open Cup is their Twitter handle. If you'd like to follow them, we're at VC Fusion. Throw in down the line for Aguiluchos. Hint of a handball from Ventura County. And Rodriguez is there. Boy, he's been active, hasn't he? And again, cleared all the way down the field. Nice 1-2. Lopez to Cazares. Cazares has to weave his way around the referee. Now Alfaro with a long touch. Back to Cazares. Great composed play here. It's over to Kip Colvey. Colvey now just dinks it off to Gregory on the left side. The wingers have changed directions in Gregory's cross. Goes out of bounds, over the goal. Sun beginning to set here. It's just a beautiful venue for soccer, to say the least, for any sport, frankly. The Ventura College Sportsplex. Done a number of games here over the years for a number of sports, whether it be high school or collegiate football, Fusion soccer, and, of course, U.S. Open Cup soccer. Now played right side. Nice one-touch back to Ruiz Corrales to make it 2. Flag is up. But you see how dangerous Ruiz and Corrales are, combining on the edge of the penalty area. That's why it's so important for Fusion to remain in possession consistently throughout this match. Header, and really a inconclusive header. Throw in for Aguiluchos. But Kiffy starting to press. Interesting change by Rudy Ibarra, the head coach of the Ventura County Fusion right there, simply to flip the wingers. And I know it's a common tactic these days, but it's not something we've seen yet from Ventura County. Kiffy has moved over this near side. The UCSB alum, and Peter Gregory now out on that left far side. Here's Alfaro. Long direct ball, Alfaro. Keeper comes for it, heads it out, only about 8 yards out, but he gets away with it again. Seems to be a shady proposition in some ways. That is over the top of Harry Noon. Manchester native Harry Noon. Says he's a Burnley fan, though. Go figure. His club's in the Barclays Premier League. That's a good thing. We actually have pulled up and we can't play it on your screen, but we've actually pulled up the Rudis Corrales goal against the United States in a friendly in 2010. Looks like it's in Tampa, and it gave El Salvador a 1-0 lead in the 59th minute. Rudis Corrales. Johnny Lopez, edge of the area. Pinged back, and now they look to counter. Here's Corrales on the ball. Looks like he's surely lost some of the speed over the years, but for him to be able to score against the U.S. some years ago and then play on the field in this Open Cup, it's impressive stuff.
Anybody named Corrales in Ventura is a star.
Yeah, it just is a stomach-grumbling coincidence that one of the more famous restaurants here in the city of Ventura, I think there's 3 locations, Corrales. And Rudy's Corrales has helped be the spoiler here tonight. No relation. Here's Helmy, the midfielder who's been a little quiet. Falls kindly, but an authoritative clearance from Kiffy. Again, Fusion are making no mistake now after giving up that 5th-minute goal. What a different game it would be. Foul called. And Fusion will have to bring it back for a free kick. 38th minute. First half flying by here on the Ventura County Fusion YouTube channel. My name is Danny Page. Pleasure to be with you. As we wind down this half, Fusion would love to even things up before the half. Start the second half without having that mistake at the back on the mind. I'm not sure if it was a miscommunication or just an inability to properly clear the ball. But Fusion had a miscommunication between center back and goalkeeper, the second in their defeat to OC Padiadores Blues, in a game that Fusion later went on to control for the following half hour. Some really believe, as Lopez plays that to the right side, some really believe that if they hadn't given up that goal, they would have gone on to win 2-1. I was in the building. I think that's fair to say, and the flag is up yet again on Jorge Ruiz. He lives offside, doesn't he? You love players like that, though. Always trying to make the right runs. Their timing might just be a hair off. Off to Lopez. Johnny looking extremely dangerous. Speaking of dangerous, here's Gregory. Gregory trying to beat his man, and he just sweeps it out of play. The best for Peter Gregory still to come. I think we haven't seen it from him as much in the opening 2 games this season. He was substituted off at halftime of the first match. Super talent, though. And Fusion are beyond excited to have him as a part of the team. Kiffy with a soft touch for Noon. Noon trying to work his way back. Aguiluchos do well to keep the ball in play. And then Noon knocks it out of play, and a throw-in will be coming to the NPSL side. Rudis Corrales with a touch, trying to get out of this near corner. Cazares. Johnny Lopez. What confusion. Kickstart here. Has Kiffy wide right. Finds him. Kiffy. Deft first touch. Has it poked away, but Ruben Rodriguez is there to help. Plays it back to his center back. Kiffy tries to switch play. Cazares. Now Noon. Noon touches it off his toe, but nowhere in particular. And Aguiluchos will look to clear. And not only clear, they will look to counter. That's what's making him so dangerous. Noon doing his best to pressure the defender, which is such an underrated part of the game, isn't it? 41st minute now. And Ruben Rodriguez all the way back to the Fusion center halves. Here's Alfaro. Tony Alfaro has been involved with Rudy Ibarra for some years. Rudy Ibarra, the Fusion head coach. He's something of a footballing legend in the Santa Barbara area. Here's Noon, and Noon's header on target, although he was offside, and it was tame to say the least. .42 minute now. We'll take a break at halftime, if that's okay with you guys. I could certainly use one. Great to see everyone commenting as well on the YouTube page. Injury on the near side, that could slow things down for just a minute. Great to have all of you with us. Appreciate the comments. We do have apologies that this broadcast is not in high definition tonight. Just kind of how it goes. We do plan to have future broadcasts in high def, but I know we all become so used to watching in high definition that if it's not in high def, then my, oh my, the sky is falling. But as we open the season, we are surely doing our best to bring you every home game. Flag up against Tony Alfaro. Foul against Alfaro. I wonder if he'll go into the book. Probably just a stern warning from the group of officials. But nonetheless, it was a bit of a cynical tackle. Right-footed free kick coming in. Can they make it 2-0? No. What a header clear. Gregory looking to kickstart the counterattack. What a ball from Kip Colvey. Again, going all the way back to the goalkeeper. A pair of Fusion players trying to chase him down. It's about 90 seconds of regular time to go in this interesting contest that I think the best of it is still to come, and maybe right here. Here's Johnny Lopez. Lopez's cross is behind Noon. Off a hand. Gregory to make it 1-1. The keeper saves. Still loose. Noon can't head it down. A mad scramble. And Aguiluchos have cleared, if just for a moment. And I stop for a second because the flag goes up. What an opportunity for Ventura County Fusion. Their best of the day to equalize, as Lopez hit it just behind Noon. Cazares looked like he hit it off the hand of a defender. The goalkeeper absolutely smothered Gregory. And as I look back, it's a little bit hard to tell where the flag actually went up. But no less. Free kick, Aguiluchos, 30 seconds of regular time. Blasted down the field. Here's Kiffy. Kiffy, fancy footwork to get loose, wasn't it? Can't make it the whole way, though, James. Oliver. Off to Cazares. Trying to work that left flank now. Here's Johnny Lopez, who's just been all over the field. Nice touch from Lopez. Great cross. Little far for the keeper. Dinks it out of play. And we are into time added on. Free kick for Ventura County Fusion in a great position. Haven't heard exactly, but I would imagine there will be 2 minutes. Kiffy, left-footed free kick. No one there for the second ball, if you will. Aguiluchos, will they have a late counter in them? Such pace. I feel kind of like that Doge meme. Such pace, much goal. So El Salvador. Terrible, right? Here's Kiffy. Just moments away from the final whistle here in this opening half. Fusion gifted a goal to CD Aguiluchos, but they remain very much within reach. Advantage given, then foul called, and probably one last free kick here. Boy, this would really fire things up in the locker room for Ventura County Fusion. Again, Rudy Ibarra must be very encouraged by what he's seen over these last half dozen minutes. Again, we'll take a break at halftime, rejoin you for the second half. Here's the free kick. Far post. Headed off the shoulder. I shouldn't even say headed. It just bounced off the shoulder of Alfaro. Here's Johnny Lopez. Nice turn from Lopez. Maybe one last thrust here. Lopez out to Gregory. Look at the understanding between those two. And that will bring the opening half to a close. It's certainly not what Ventura County Fusion wanted, gifting a goal, but they are still very much in this contest. At the break, Ventura County Fusion 0, Aguiluchos 1. My name is Danny Page. We'll take a timeout here on this live broadcast of the United States Open Cup. We will see you for the second half. Welcome back to the Ventura College Sportsplex on the campus of, yeah, you guessed it, Ventura College. Here in Ventura, California. We are just about 60 miles precisely north of Los Angeles. I'd say more northwest than anything. My name is Danny Page to bring you this U.S. Open Cup first round match between CD Aguiluchos USA and the Ventura County Fusion. Aguiluchos from the NPSL, Fusion from the USL PDL, 5 years running in this competition. Could they be knocked out in the first round? They trail 1-0 tonight. A gifted goal scored by former El Salvador national team player Jorge Ruiz. Some problems at the back for Fusion. And that handed Aguiluchos the initiative. They'll play it over the top immediately. By the way, just want to throw out a big thanks to our marketing director, Rob Gillette, stepping behind the camera tonight. He's used to being out there working the fans, a man among the people, but we're planning on rolling out multi-camera shoots for all home matches this season. Great work from Rob tonight, really running things. Foul called against Peter Gregory. 2 changes for the Ventura County Fusion to report. Harry Noon is off, the English center forward. Kennedy Chongo is on. Chongo having played for some of Fusion's rivals in times past. And now playing for the franchise. Free kick, great opportunity early to make it 2-0. Dummied through. And cleared away by Fusion. Here's Casares looking to start the break. Gregory breaking down the right-hand side and steady picks out Chongo. Chongo first to it easily. Chongo sifts it through. Nice little back heel for Kennedy. Hits it well for Gregory. And Gregory will be called for the foul there. Peter has to be careful. Obviously, no serious fouls from such a talented, pacey, finesse-style player, but he's had quite a few of them so far. Kennedy Chongo's on. Steve Palacios has checked in as well. Replacing Paul Oliver in midfield. Again, it's a work in progress at this point. This group has played 1 match together. Ventura County Fusion. And Noon, who was a youth player for Manchester City. Is back on, or is out, excuse me. Trying to catch up with my notes here. Corner kick coming for CD Aguiluchos USA. Again, a pleasure to be with you here. Feel free to hit me up on Twitter throughout the night. The interactivity makes this a lot of fun. Great corner kick. Well placed, but well cleared. Kip Colvey. Nice from Kip. Here's Lopez. Lopez to Gregory. Gregory, deep touch down the field. Number 10 gets into his stride. A sweet step over. And the defender's first to it. But you see the tremendous pace from Peter Gregory. That attacking trio of Chongo, Gregory, and Lopez will really be the key in this early juncture of the season. There are other attacking players to come, apparently. Again, the roster coming together. You know what the U.S. Open Cup at this stage of the PDL season reminds me of? For those of you at home watching that are maybe more European football fans, I think about when a Russian team or a Ukrainian team, an Eastern European team, from a league that takes a deep winter break, goes out and plays in the Champions League. Or MLS teams, when they enter the, quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Champions League, and they're 1 week into the regular season. The scheduling does not benefit PDL teams. That said, U.S. Open Cup isn't set up to benefit PDL teams. I don't think it's set up to benefit anyone in particular, the point just being that things are just starting to come together now. Teasing ball for Gregory. Keeps it in play. has his leg kicked out, and the goal kick is given. I just don't think the referee, trailing from behind, saw that, and Gregory's given him a bit of an earful. As I said, got to be careful there. For everything Ventura County Fusion, make sure to follow us through all social media. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, using the handle @VCFusion. Also, you can catch our games, youtube.com/VCFusion. We'll have highlights of this one up tomorrow. When you look back at the goal that Fusion just handed off to Aguiluchos in the 5th minute, really just reeks of regret at this point, doesn't it? Here's Gregory. Gregory with the cross. Gregory earns the corner. And they've shown some style in these first 5 minutes. They need to show some substance. Gregory to take the corner. Johnny Lopez comes near side to assist him. Steve Palacios, Alfaro in the area. And it's just a little high and perhaps a hair too deep. The goalkeeper comes up with it. Poor touch. Now getting into his stride is Corrales. Can Corrales make it to the cutback? And a fine intervention. Evan Kenny Guyer. A first touch like that, you can make that first touch in the PDL. You can't make it against the guy who scored against the United States in a friendly in Florida in 2010. He just absolutely pounced. Long throw in into the penalty area. Cleared away, if only for a moment. And Aguiluchos knocked that out of play. Last touch by the right back. As we roll along here, again, no scoreboard on your screen. I will keep you posted on everything going on here, score-wise, time-wise, 52nd minute. Aguiluchos lead Ventura County Fusion 1-0. Goal kick blasted down the park. Here's Chongo. Kennedy Chongo, what a heady player. All puns intended. Just a smart kid, great player, quality addition to any franchise, really. Here's Palacios. Now Cazares. Johnny Lopez. Lopez, Gregory. Gregory, nice touch. Chongo one time to Palacios. It looked like the ball hit the hand. It did. Penalty kick Fusion. And one player for Aguiluchos comes and grabs the referee on the arm. I'm having another look again here on my monitor. But to me, that was a surefire penalty. The question is, who will take it? Gregory with the touch. Chongo one time. It's a penalty kick. What do you say, Joe? And the Aguiluchos players just need to get on with the game at this point. You can't surround the ref and dwell on a call like that when it's rather clear. And now they've cornered the linesman on the far side. I mean, this is just childish, ridiculous behavior, really. I'm sorry. But just get on with the game. It was a penalty. It may not have been a penalty. But we don't need to complain for the better part of 3 minutes. And I would have the exact same opinion if this was Ventura County Fusion behaving in that manner. The Aguiluchos fans boo. The left-footed Chongo set to take on Castro. Fusion did miss a penalty in their opening game. And here's Chongo. Easy does it, and it's 1-1. No less than what Ventura County Fusion deserved. Kennedy Chongo fires in. And just like that, we're even. 54th minute. Game on, boys and girls. Play down for Chongo. Gregory tried to turn, and now Fusion starting to feel it a little bit. Starting to perhaps look to really boss this game more. Here's Peter Gregory, who's had a bit more of a free run in the last few minutes. After bolting inside, it was his pass into Chongo that helped earn the penalty. And wasn't it that attacking trio that I mentioned? Great combination from those three. Headed on by Aguiluchos, who really may look to press more. We are planning to archive a copy of this game on YouTube. That is until the Sac Republic FC Twitter account tells me that they'll be studying the YouTube video next week. Shout out to everybody at Sac Republic. We at Fusion certainly hope this matchup is on. And could it be 2 for Fusion? Blasted away by the keeper. Bearing down was Palacios, the central midfielder, showing incredible speed, and he just chipped it over the goalkeeper, who's hurt for the second time today. Sliding in to make another great stop was Luis Castro. Fusion are feeling it. 1-1 now in the 57th minute. Checking out the goalkeeper. That is Luis Castro. He's had a nice game. There was really nothing he could do on the penalty. You know, you're seeing those shakes and vibrations in your picture as well. It's just fans in front at this VC Sportsplex kind of rattling the stands. And as we pull back, it'll be a throw-in for the Ventura County Fusion. There's Kip Colby. Colby thrown to Gregory. And a throw-in again. Colby to take it. Here's Johnny Lopez. Lopez. Can he wiggle free? Only just. Back to Alfaro. Now off to the right side. Ruben Rodriguez. Here's Palacios. Trying to dig that one out of the turf is Kiffey, who I think that's a dimension that's really helped Fusion in the second half too, is Kiffey stepping back into midfield. There's a direct nature to his play. There's an attacking element. Fusion now really pressing high. Slippery slope in some ways. Trey Mitchell back to get this one. Sheldon Stainhouse actually started the opening game of the year for Fusion, a 3-0 loss to OC Blues. And, of course, everyone on the Fusion side would say this, but trust me, it was much closer than you'd think, than the score line would dictate. Sheldon Stainhouse started in goal for Fusion, and I wonder if Trey Mitchell is the backup goalkeeper or if he's the cup goalkeeper, as we see. Chongo took a nasty one on the back of the leg, and it's our first booking of the night. 59 minutes on the clock. And going into the book is number 7, Ani Elmi. Aguiluchos scoring 5 minutes into the first half. Fusion 9 minutes into the second. Teasing free kick. And a foul called on Kennedy Chongo. Really excited to get the United Soccer League season underway. Are we? It seems like every year the league grows its reputation, whether it be at the USL Pro level or the PDL level. Reformatted divisions now. There's 3 divisions in the Western Conference. Alfaro, tough clearance as he has to half volley that, running back toward goal. Fusion will actually play the OC Blues 3 times this year. The schedule also includes a trip to Vegas, which obviously is really unfortunate. I think the entire franchise is going. Literally everyone. That's coming up in June. There's a long trip to Tucson. FC Tucson have become kind of fun, friendly rivals of Fusion in recent times. As we pass the hour mark, Aguiluchos are a rival for the next half hour. Look at the 1-2. Lopez getting it back from Chongo. Here's Gregory. These three, I should say. Great cross, Gregory. Header! And it's wide. Great opportunity for Fusion to take the advantage. James Kiffey. It really is an attacking 4, isn't it? But the fine footwork from Gregory, Lopez, Chongo. Fusion don't have a forward like a Giassi Zardes to break down a defense. And Zardes, obviously a Fusion alum, as we like to call him around here. So they're going to have to do it along the floor. But it's a style so far that is very pleasing on the eye. That was the first goal of the season, by the way, for Ventura County Fusion. 145 minutes plus. It took them to get off the mark. They had a penalty saved late in the 3-0 defeat. Beautiful back heel. And just a really bad foul from behind, and that'll be the second yellow card. This is for Francisco Mendoza. This comes Fusion take it short. Here's Kip Colvey. Cleared out. And this is where they can kill you, can't they, Aguiluchos? On the counterattack. The pace of that front three is just incredible. You wonder, though, former national team players for El Salvador, will they struggle to maintain the same pace as the game wears on? I, for one, would think so. On the carpet to Lopez in the middle. Here's Johnny Lopez. What a little deke from Lopez. I know, it is also hockey season, though. I'm allowed. Kiffey looking to cut it back. Another sweet move from Kiffey into the middle, and it just didn't reach a Fusion player. Chongo deflects the would-be clearance, but the intention was to cut it back for Gregory and Lopez. And a fine intervention defensively. Here's Johnny Lopez going to work again. A little step over from Johnny. Another free kick. It's a ridiculous number of fouls in the second half as Aguiluchos are just trying to keep up. I think that's one thing you see from the NPSL teams when they take on a PDL team is you expect the PDL team to perform better in the second half because it's college kids against what are often more seasoned, older professionals. Teasing free kick. Gregory hits it down. Chongo can make it too, but instead it's Peter, and he does. We'll call it an assist for Kennedy Chongo. The linesman being bombarded by players of the opposing side. It doesn't matter. They'll say he was onside. 2-1 Fusion, 64th minute. Peter Gregory with his first goal for Ventura County Fusion and for the Fusion Faithful, as we call them. Instagram hashtag Fusion Faithful, by the way. We hope the first of many. 2-1. Yeah, you just had a shot in your picture, didn't you, of the bombardment of the linesmen. by the opposing players. But Fusion rally back, and now the assistant coach has been sent to the stands. Look at that on the bottom part of your screen, the assistant coach sent off. That's unfortunate. But it
Chongo pass or Chongo shot?
If I'm not mistaken, the ball just fell kindly for Chongo. And instead of just poking it in himself, yes, off a rebound, and then it was Gregory who hammered it home. Well, now Aguiluchos will push through and try to equalize things. Back and forth we go in this U.S. Open Cup match, and you knew there had to be drama. The first ever U.S. Open Cup match for Ventura County Fusion 5 years ago went down to penalty kicks. We've seen a couple thrillers, at least one other go to extra time too. The 1-0 loss to Chivas USA in the third round when they came to this exact venue. And now the free kick blasted away. Gregory tries to get it away. Looked like he was fouled, but nonetheless, intervening is Cazares, and the crowd is really starting to feel it in this 67th minute. Sifted over to the far side, Aguiluchos. Half a dozen subs up off the bench. Looks like they need some fresh legs, really. Long over the top, Trey Mitchell is there. Really quality player and a great leader for this team, Trey Mitchell. Come into this side, the former Chivas USA U23 player, and he's just sort of stepped in the room and taken a leadership role by example and by spoken word. Lopez looks to chip that one over for Kiffy, who was held onside by the back defender. Handball on Johnny Lopez. Fun seeing the way that so early on, Lopez, Chongo, and Gregory are able to attack. Well taken down by the goal scorer Ruiz. And then it's cleared away. I know these Fusion players are young players, but it'll be interesting to see how they react to taking the field 48 hours from now in the league home opener. Expecting a great crowd for that game. And remember, Fusion fans, it's not too late to get your season tickets. $65 for tickets to every home game, plus a free Fusion scarf and soccer ball. I love those scarves. Of course, I think I might need to get season tickets to get one. Just visit our website, williamvcfusion.com. Big thanks to everyone at U.S. Soccer, too, having us put this on, giving us a shout-out on Twitter, the match of the week. Here's Gregory, chips it, and it goes over. You had visions of the young man's brilliance, didn't you? Is he Cantona from that spot? We have commentary coming in on Twitter from a fan of Aguiluchos that says the goal was incredibly offside. I think that fan may have been right. If Chongo had scored the goal himself, that would have been onside in my mind.
I said offside the moment he kicked in.
But Chongo hit it to Gregory. I don't know. We'll have a look. We'll have the highlights on vcfusion.com. The only issue I have with that fan, who's had some nice tweets today, DYC Soccer, is the expletive added on. Put into the back of the net, but the flag goes up. The Aguiluchos supporters on the far end thought they had equalized. Francisco Mendoza. That's all I ask in the tweets sent over. Let's keep it clean, kids. I thought Mendoza might have been on side there, too. Aguiluchos really unhappy with the way things have gone in an officiating sense. By the way, one PDL U.S. Open Cup score. PSA Elite 0, Missioneros 0, halftime. 71st minute now. A teasing cross, but no one to take it down. Peter Gregory catches up to it. This is the most confident and the strongest we've seen Peter Gregory since he came here. Was most recently with Charlton Athletic, training with that side. Back to Kiffey. Here's Kiffey. Nice movement from Kiffey on the ball. Teammates trying to get free off of it. Here's Colvey. Colvey and Johnny Lopez twist it around. Advantage played. And it hits the feet of Steve Palacios. Cazares trying to catch up. Long one through. And a Fusion player was dragged down. Just a little tug from behind by Jorge Ruiz. It's as professional as a foul like that'll get. Not bad.
Aguiluchos Twitter account not happy with that last offside flag.
So we're getting word via Twitter from Aguiluchos that their fans are not, or their Twitter account is not pleased with the offside on their latest attempt. And that one will be very, very tight. That's why I'm glad we have video and highlights this year. Blasted down the park, and a foul called. It just is like ping pong here with a foul on either side. The San Diego Flash have advanced, actually via forfeit, and they will play the winner of the Missioneros PSA Elite match. Free kick for Aguiluchos, 73rd minute. And the truth is, if you progress another 10 minutes here, don't you start looking at sort of closing up shop? We'll see. Fusion still in attacking mode. Aguiluchos as well. Rolled along the ground, and that could have gone anywhere off a deflection. Still in the penalty area. Takes a fortuitous bounce for Aguiluchos, but then cleared. Ruben Rodriguez has been really solid in this match, understated at the right back spot. Throw in coming. Remember, multi-camera shoots coming as well for all the VC Fusion home matches. YouTube.com/VC Fusion. Can look at the full matches as well. Thanks to the crew at the United Soccer Leagues. Their help on everything there. Throw in. Cleared, but then just popped straight up in the air by Tony Alfaro. Alfaro does head it clear enough, but still some danger. Nice hit from Rudy Corrales to the top of the area. Popped up in the air again. Fusion struggling to clear this. Cazares finally gets it away and gets it to Kiffey. If I were Kiffey, you might just want to blast it downfield and switch play. Smarter than I am, that kid. What a header from Chongo. The second and first touch. Gregory on the far side, and he pushes it to the near side post. I think Chongo didn't see Peter Gregory. He could have just rolled one along the carpet to Peter. Would have been a difficult pass in between the last defender and the goalkeeper. 75th minute now, 2-1 Ventura County Fusion. My name is Danny Page. Pleasure to be with you. The winner takes on Sac Republic. Gregory, another sweet touch, holds the ball in. Gregory shoved off the ball, but it was Not a foul in any way, shape, or form. Clean play. He just was bodied off. I shouldn't say shoved, should I? Palacios now. To Chongo. What a first touch from Chongo again. Somehow catches up to it. Holds the ball in play. Chongo working to the opposite side. Palacios back to him. Opportunity for a header, and now the goalkeeper claims that. Luis Castro. 15 minutes remaining of regular time. And I'm just saying, it's early, but you can start thinking about how fun a Sac Republic Fusion game would be. Substitute coming on here for Aguiluchos. I love the name. Don't you? Not exactly sure what it means. I do speak some Spanish. It may not sound like it on this broadcast, but I've never heard the term. Obviously, again, this is a country with a deep heritage from El Salvador. Long throw in. Still in the area. Fusion really need to work on how they clear the football over these next 17 minutes. Aguiluchos starting to press and do so well as they need a goal, trailing the Ventura County Fusion here. 2 goals in a span of 10 minutes. Alfaro comes back to clear it. Here's Gregory. Gregory, what a sweet touch to wheel around the defender, who's just come on, no less, and has to deal with a kid that has Premier League level talent. Moises Roca, the substitute. Certainly has some wheels. He'll help along the back line, I think, and get into the attack. Thrusting forward is Mendoza. Mendoza hits it over the top for Ruiz. The stop-start ability, of these players, these 3 front players, is just nothing short of remarkable. Ruiz, Rudis Corrales, and Francisco Mendoza, all of whom at one point played for the El Salvador national team. Substitute coming for the Ventura County Fusion. Peter Gregory has come off to a rousing applause from Fusion fans. Just ran out of gas a little bit here, but boy, he's been so solid. Substitute is number 9, Dan Delgado. Fusion, by my count, thus have used 3 substitutes, and Chongo and Palacios were really outstanding substitutes, I think, to say the least. Hit on the half volley, and now hit wide. Dan Delgado, his home debut for the Ventura County Fusion. Fusion do surely hope that they will be playing at home not just this Friday in the PDL, which they will certainly, but they hope they'll be back home Wednesday to take on Sac Republic FC. I think it's safe to say that Fusion would not have been 2009 Premier Development League champions if not for Rodrigo Lopez, and he's a star now in Sacramento. Roro joined the team late that year, and he was the most valuable player of the playoffs I believe it was in the quarterfinal in Texas. He scored an injury time free kick to send them on to the final when they hammered Bradenton. I think that was 6-1, and they went on to beat the Chicago Fire. U23s. I think it was called the Reserves then, the Chicago Fire Reserves in that incarnation. Trying to find Lopez over the top. And the ball is tackled out of play by Moises Roca. Throw in Ventura County Fusion. 80 minutes on the clock, on the dot now. As Fusion could surely see the finish line in the distance. Here's Lopez. Lopez with a kind of awkward cross. Worked its way to the edge of the area. Palacios! Oh, Steven Palacios really made something out of very little. And they're looking for that goal that would pretty much seal the deal and send them on to face Sacramento. Steven Palacios, best recognized from these parts as having played for OC Blue Star, a former rival. Is that the OC Blues? I couldn't answer that question for you. Too many incarnations. It is a different team, right?
OC Blue Stars, who Jurgen Klinsmann played anonymously for and after he retired.
Which is now defunct. Yeah. So there is. It's just coincidental thus that the LA Blues became the OC Blues and OC Blue Star went away and now the OC Blues exist.
I think they did that because the LA Blues were always in OC, but
Right.
they couldn't be the OC Blues because OC Blue Star existed.
An opportunity falling for Aguiluchos. Joe Curley, by the way, you should follow him at VCS Soccer, has covered World Cups. Mitchell comes for it, and Mitchell comes down with it. They'll say he was fouled as well, will the referee.
Covered Open Cups too.
Joe Curley has covered many Open Cups, PDL championships, the Glamour friendlies over the years here where Fusion have welcomed in teams from the Barclays Premier League to train and play against this side. Joe is a veteran of covering a World Cup, a European Championship. Follow him at VCS Soccer. That's at Ventura County Star Soccer. A great outlook on everything soccer here in Southern California and, frankly, around the world. 83rd minute. Normally when a team has an advantage like this, the clock moves slowly, but it is flying by, at least for my money. High, teasing cross, and Castro comes down with it. Throws it on the ground, and Castro dribbles himself out of some trouble. Johnny Lopez leaving it all out there. And Fusion's defensive four have been pretty impressive with the exception of that mild early goal they gave away. But they press on, moving toward the 84th minute now. And a foul called. Yes, it will be called on Kip Colvey. Again, shout out to Kip Colvey's parents tuning in from New Zealand.
What time is it there now?
Must be morning in New Zealand. Happy Thursday to the Colveys. Yeah, it is. I think it is about 12:45. Great opportunity for Aguiluchos. Left-footed free kick. Well cleared. And it's to Johnny Lopez. What is Lopez going to do? Hit one high for Dan Delgado. Delgado shields the defender well. But possession is given right back. And then just hammered down the field by Alfaro. Alfaro, though, enough on it to allow Lopez to give chase. Here's Chongo. Chongo holds it up. Chongo in on goal, and he hits it over the top. It was all there for Kennedy Chongo. The chance to send Fusion to the second round. And he just missed it. That's one thing the goalkeeper, Luis Castro, has been doing such a fine job of tonight. is that as he goes to ground, he makes himself big in a vertical sense. It's very difficult to do, sliding in on an attacker, but keeping your torso upright. He's done that throughout the night. He did it again, forcing Chongo to really try and hit that one hard over the top, although Chongo could have been well suited to provide a soft touch. And here's another yellow card coming, a really late foul to be called.
It's almost 4 p.m. Thursday afternoon in New Zealand. That's what the Colbys just said.
Great to hear from the Colbys. It's nearly 4 p.m. Thursday. Wow. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We do appreciate that. And it's funny that they're posting from his Twitter account. It's a family affair. Love it. Don't forget to follow the Ventura County Fusion on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. The handle VC Fusion. And, of course, YouTube, as we'll bring you streaming video of all Fusion home games, which, yes, you guessed it, if the score remains the same here in the 86th minute, we would have video as Sac Republic are scheduled to come here next week. Headed away, headed clear, and a throw incoming. Kip Colby taking all the time in the world. He's acting as if it's 3:45 p.m. Thursday, and rightfully so. Simply want to ensure passage into the next round. It means a lot for a franchise to host not just one, but perhaps 2 U.S. Open Cup matches. It means a lot to win a game in the tournament. It meant a lot to go toe-to-toe with Chivas USA. 1-0. The defeat a couple years ago. Juan Pablo Angel was in the game.
I bet you there's no PDL teams that have won an Open Cup game 4 years in a row.
That would be the case, wouldn't it? It's something to ask our friends at the U.S. Open Cup who might be tuning in, or perhaps in the USL office. Has a PDL team ever won a U.S. Open Cup game 4 years in a row? We're getting ahead of ourselves a bit. I wonder if that would be a record. Although I say getting ahead of ourselves, we're into the 88th minute. Aguiluchos, always dangerous. Always. Especially with 3 El Salvador former national team players up front. Fusion trying to press and close things out, but also needing to adopt a more defensive approach to ensure they do close things out. Here's Cazares, who's had a quiet yet quality contest in the center of the pitch. Fusion just stroking it around in possession.
Kip Colby's dad's got to be Kip Colby too. That's why he's got Kip Colby Twitter account.
Throw in down the line. Chongo with a hit. Fusion just happy to have the ball, which they have for a good chunk of the second half. Great play back from Ruben Rodriguez, and it's just hit heavily down the field. Kiffy trying to come up with it, headed to the keeper, and whoa. There's an interesting intervention between Castro and his center half. 89th minute now. Here's Dan Delgado, who's been a nice substitute. Kiffy trying to sift it through for Chongo. Overhead clearance. Just a couple minutes left here in this U.S. Open Cup first round match. Palacios. Now Cazares. Cazares, it's actually Kiffy into the area. Kiffy has it just held back. 90th minute now. No word yet on the amount of added time. Over to Johnny Lopez, who, given what he's done, can surely just take it to the corner and hold it for a couple minutes. Playing around perhaps a bit much, Lopez. And now coming back to defend a bit. Advantage given, foul called on Fusion. 30 seconds of regular time left in this U.S. Open Cup first round match. It would be the 4th year in a row Fusion have advanced in the nation's top knockout tournament. Everybody going forward as the goalie Castro preps to blast it into the penalty area. He does. The header goes off for a corner kick. Big corner coming here for Aguiluchos. They've created very little in this second half, really in this game in general. Gifted a goal in the 5th. Can they score one in injury time? Mitchell comes for it and grabs it. Nice grab from Trey Mitchell. Four minutes of stoppage time from our public address announcer, Blake Dorfman. 2-1 is the score. Ventura County Fusion lead. And we are about 30 seconds into that added time. Aguiluchos will press to try and send this thing to an extra 30 minutes. Fusion really want this match to end in regulation, considering they play in 46 hours into the penalty area. Great header way, Alfaro. Seems like Alfaro has just grown in size as the game has gone on. Fusion growing in confidence as well. Header from Chongo. He's upended. Now 2 minutes in to added time in this Open Cup second round match. Brilliant header on! Corrales heads it over. The ball's loose right in front of goal as Trey Mitchell came for it, but great covering from Kip Colvey. Evan Kenny Guyer helping as well. He was actually the final one to knock it away. A massive intervention defensively as Mitchell was outmanned and came for it. Long throw into the area. Still clear. Someone needs to get it out, and Fusion do. Lopez may look to break or at least bump it down the park. By my watch, 1 minute of added time remaining, and Colvey blasts it downfield. Lopez pumps that one for Delgado. Fusion still looking to get it clear. I would say less than a minute left. Foul called against Fusion. Free kick coming. You know, one thing I'd like to point out in regards to Fusion making 2 changes at the half, remember they're only allowed 3 substitutes when normally you can make 6 changes in a PDL match. And for Rudy Ibarra to roll the dice like he did and make those 2 big changes, well, it just changed the game. Perhaps the last opportunity for Aguiluchos. Corrales and Mitchell. Look at the strong hands on the 30-yard plus free kick. Mitchell falls on the ball. And with a 2-1 lead, blasts it down the field. Delgado with the last touch. And now a throw-in. Referee has a look at his watch. Foul called. Player will not go into the book, but Chongo pokes it away. He could easily be guilty of time wasting. I'm cool with it, though. Fusion 2, Aguiluchos 1. Fusion forced to take a free kick. Will that be the final score? Is the question. Here's Alfaro. Alfaro hits it into the corner. Not the corner, but just the near sideline for Johnny Lopez. Lopez to Chongo. Here's Colvey. And Kip Colvey just bombs that one over. Rocha blasts it down the field. Great header won by Alfaro. And that will do it for the 4th straight season. the Ventura County Fusion advance in the United States Open Cup, the first Premier Development League team to do so. Another record-setting performance from Fusion. Up next, the team that are really friends and foes all at the same time. Yes, Sac Republic is the opponent for Fusion in the second round. It's been an absolute pleasure being with you for this really fun and outstanding match in the United States Open Cup. Remember, on Fusion TV, youtube.com/VCFusion. Remember, we'll be back Friday night, the USL opener, home opener, I should say, and then we'll be back next week with a live broadcast of the match against Sacramento Republic. Jorge Ruiz opened the scoring in the 5th minute. Kennedy Chongo struck in the 54th to equalize for Fusion. A halftime substitute. And then Peter Gregory, the star from the United Kingdom, as you're seeing the absolute tomfoolery going on between Aguiluchos staff, it appears, and the referees. We'll have full coverage, youtube.com/VCFusion, and make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, so on and so forth, at VCFusion. It's been a pleasure being with all of you. We'll have a post-game wrap up on this very YouTube page tomorrow. We'll have next week's game live as well. Fantastic work from everybody here with the Fusion. Rob Gillette, outstanding work. Our director of marketing running the camera tonight. He killed it. Joe Curley of the Ventura County Star, the journalist sitting to my left, fed me with information all night long. Thanks to everyone at the United Soccer Leagues and the United States Soccer Federation. My name is Danny Page. We will see you next week as the Open Cup run continues. At full time, Ventura County Fusion 2, Aguiluchos 1. Good night.